Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show, hosted by your
Welcome.
boy 216 Mike and EG Laflare. What's going on, EG?
What's good, Mike? What's going on? Happy Memorial Day to you
Yes,
and your
happy.
family.
Same to you, man, and same to all of the Fans Ed supporters out there. We appreciate y'all. Hope that you all are able to enjoy this long weekend and get some quality time with your family. And we also want to remember our troops, the ones who fallen. That's the real reason for this holiday, is remembering the people who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And that's why I have so much respect for our troops, because when you sign up to the military, man, you put your life on the line, so shout out to all of our service members. Make sure that you're following us on all of our social media platforms, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button. And guess what, y'all? We on TikTok, man. Shout out to EG for getting us right on TikTok.
Hey, let's get it, baby. We always trying to find a one-up on everything. You know what I'm saying? We got to be ahead of time, ahead of schedule. We got to do the TikTok thing now.
Yeah.
We post snippets on TikTok. Check us out, man. The Fans Edge. Let's get it.
Definitely, man. So, last night I'm sitting here, I'm watching a movie with my kids, and I remember the Javante Davis fight is on. Man, and so, I had to pull the fight up, man. And let's just say it was an amazing fight, and I loved it, bro. Did you get a chance to watch that fight at all?
I did watch the fight, and the outcome came as I expected. I don't expect Tank to lose too many fights. He trained under Mayweather. He know the game. Like he's not gonna really book guys that can beat him. Honestly, he's not gonna book too many guys that can beat him. So everyone that he books, I feel like he pretty much is comfortable with and knows that he can beat them. He plays on the safe side, just like Floyd Mayweather. If you ask me.
Okay, yeah. I can. I'm not going to compare him to Floyd, because I think, dang, Davis controlled the ring. And if anybody knows Davis, like, he'll take a couple hits to get his. And
right.
He talked about that in one of his interviews on $1 Million Worth of Game. And the one thing that was happening in that fight is round one, Romero, he won it. 2 and 3, he won it. And his trainer at the end of the fight, when they went to the little trainers' corners and they showed like what the trainers were saying, his trainer was spot on. Keep using your jab. You're scoring. You're winning every round. Do not chase him. And what happened? That one time, he chased him. And like Tank said, he ran right into it, man. And I'll tell you this, they were throwing so fast, but Tank was throwing faster that I could barely see him swinging live. Like, at first, I thought he was just getting out of there. Then when dude fell, I'm like, oh, he must have gave him a body shot. And then when the replay finally came, like after 10 minutes or whatever, realized he just punched dude straight in the head.
And a lot of boxers get caught up in that rage moment where they're trying to get. I'm trying to hit this guy, and boom, you're knocked out just like that. And if you ask me, the guy was nearly winning that fight. That guy was nearly winning that fight versus Tank.
Every round.
He was in a comfortable position, but he got knocked out. And that's sometimes that's what fighters that are not as experienced do. They come in like, oh, I got him. I'm feeling good. But boom, one good punch and you done. And Tank is, to be a small guy, Tank is one of the strongest punches I've seen since Pacquiao. Pacquiao is one of those small guys with that powerful punch. And Tank reminds me a lot of a guy like that. He's small, but he has a powerful punch.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of his, because I say that in the history of boxing, he's the best close quarters fighter. And, a lot of people be like, well, what about Mike Tyson? But yeah, Mike Tyson was a great close quarters fighter, but he wasn't as accurate as Tank is close quarters, man. And I have never seen, I watched boxing from Evander Holyfield, all of that.
I watched a lot as well. And if you ask me, Mike Tyson is still the most exciting boxer of all time. He's
Yeah.
by far the most exciting. Like, you will get a knockout round 1 to 4 guaranteed with Mike Tyson. It's not like you're not going to watch boxing all day long. He isn't going to. If you wear him down, you have a chance at beating him. But he's going to give you the knockout. So I get what you mean in the comparison with Tank and Mike Tyson, but at the same time, no one compares to Mike Tyson in my eyes. He's still the most exciting.
Yeah, I mean, most exciting, but yeah, I get that to him. But close quarters, that's my boy Tank.
I got you.
Let's get into this college football talk, man. Our producer, Walt K. Disney, have brought up something about Michigan hired Mylan Bowden Morris is the first ever woman graduate assistant coach on the Power 5 level. And, you know, the thing is this what do you think about this, EG? Is this a good move for Michigan? Is it a good move for the sport of college football?
Me personally, I like the move. I like the fact that women can be in the sport. But also, I'm interested to know, how can you coach the position? Do you have a background in the position? Can you take guys to a new level with the position? Like, do you know all the ins and outs it takes to be a great quarterback? And a woman being in that position, it's kind of like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for women to get involved and be in those locker rooms, be in those situations. But at the same time, it's like, can you take a guy that's a 4-star quarterback or a 3-star quarterback? Can you take him to the next level? Right. Can you teach him what it takes to be a great quarterback, especially if you don't have experience in the position personally? Right. Also, I would like to know what's her background when it comes to the sport.
Right. So her background, her dad was a high school coach. But like I like to tell everybody, high school is different than college. And you know, her brother also plays for Michigan. Now, the reason why Jim Harbaugh was like, yeah, I'm gonna hire her is what he said is her intellect. The conversation that they had was very good. But my thing is I don't trust Jim Harbaugh. We've been hearing since Jim Harbaugh got at Michigan that he's the QB whisperer.
Right.
What quarterback have you heard of coming out of Michigan up under him? Nobody. You know, and to be honest, when you want to talk about quarterbacks that he had in the past, he inherited those quarterbacks. You know, those weren't guys that he went out and picked. He inherited those guys. So I've never seen him as a developer. So also my question to her would be, is this the right person for you to learn QB development under? And since Muni League, I played against a girl who was the quarterback for Power 6 Red Dogs in Cleveland. She was the quarterback, and bro, she was a beast. She was a beast. In Cleveland, we also had a pro football team. So, you know, I'm not against women being in the sport, especially someone knowledgeable. We see it all the time that there's women knowledgeable. We see them as analysts on shows. They know their stuff.
They know
but to be a coach, I think that you need to have experience. She was a great basketball player. You know, she played basketball, but if she played basketball at the highest level, but to come in and be the quarterback's coach, and we're talking about the elite of elite. You go to Bama, you go to Lincoln Riley, you go to Ryan Day, you go to Steve Sarkisian. We're talking about the QB gurus. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what is she going to bring that's going to bring Michigan up to that level?
And another comment I want to make is, just like everything else, just like getting any other job, the world is who you know. And of course, you know, she had to know someone to get in that position. Like you said, her brother plays for Michigan. Maybe she hooked up a deal, but maybe this opened up doors. But at the same time, I want to know, is it really going to work? Because we know Jim is going to coach the quarterbacks mainly. But like you said, I haven't saw a lot from Jim and the quarterbacks coming out of Michigan. If you ask me, I haven't saw a quarterback come out of Michigan that was a first-round draft pick or a second-round draft pick in quite a while.
They haven't had a quarterback since Tom Brady, and he wasn't even a first-round pick.
Right, and Michigan is a great school. Like,
it's a blue blood.
It's a great program, but as far as the quarterback position, I haven't saw it at that position to say like, oh, okay, Jim knows what he's doing, or I trust his hires, because I don't. The same way you do. You watch him a little more than me because you're obviously a big Ohio State fan. You watch them. You guys have to play them every year. But I personally, I don't know if he has the tools to make her a great quarterback coach or to make her a great graduate assistant. I'm interested to see. Like, I'm all for changes. I'm all for women in men's sports. I want to know how she feels in the locker room, how's it going on that side. Like, what do you say a guy to keep him motivated? I'm interested to know these things because as a guy who's played football myself, I know what I need to be motivated. And it's interesting to hear what a girl or a woman can say to motivate you. But let's see how it plays, and we're not pointing the finger at anybody. Let's see how it plays.
Right. Now, talking about coaches who definitely don't know how to pick QBs at all. Kirby Smart, man, look like he about to get a long-term deal. I mean, after winning the national championship, I think it's well-deserved. You got coaches like Lincoln Riley and Mel Tucker at Michigan State making $9 million a year. I'm thinking that Kirby's looking at 10 plus. It's the SEC. He's looking at 10 plus million a year. What do you think about this?
And Kirby Smart, he's a guy who's well deserving of the $10 million plus salary. He's well deserving to be right under Nick Saban, if you ask me. But like, the one thing I always talk about with Georgia, they recruit in the top 5 every single year. They recruit in the top 10 every single year, top 5, whatever you want to call it. But they have won national championship. If you look at schools like Ohio State, you look at schools like Alabama, you look at schools like Clemson, these guys have won multiple championships with these recruiting classes. I expect a little more out of Kirby Smart, even though he's deserving of the money. Once you pay this man that money, I expect a little more. I expect the championship when you be bringing in consecutive top 5 classes. I expect you to be in the championship even if you can't win it. I expect to see you there. Like, so I have high expectations for Georgia. I also live in the city of Athens. So I want to see those guys stay at that level of consistency. Don't make the championship one year, win it, and not get there because you can't beat an Alabama or a team like that. Like, I expect you to beat Bama. You recruit just as well as Bama. But if you ask me, Kirby Smart deserves well at 10 plus million a year. He deserves to be one of the highest paid coaches in college football.
I agree with that, man. I agree with that. Also, Ryan Day got a contract extension. Not too many details have came out because I think they're still waiting on the board to approve it. But let's talk about, because I think this is also going to factor right into the next part of our show. Jordan Addison picks USC. He says that it's a gut decision. I mean, EG, talk to me, man. How do you feel? Does this solidify USC as the official team to beat in the Pac-12?
Well, me, when I look at USC, you know what I'm saying? After everything that's happened over the years, I can never say USC is back. Every year I get myself clowned. I get myself embarrassed for saying, hey, USC is back. USC is back. Every year they let me down. I can remember one year vividly. They were hyping up USC versus Bama. I'm like, hey, don't sleep on USC. They're back. They're back. Bama comes out and 52-0 these guys. So they will have to show me more than anything. I can't say that everything's going to play out in Lincoln Riley's favor. I can't say that everything is going to work. I just want to see it before I can start making my prediction, because USC is a school that has let me down for 10 plus years. I was a big fan of Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, those guys. I was in love with the program when those guys were there. And it's been terrible for a long time. Let's just say that, to USC standards.
Hey, I agree. It definitely has. And now you got teams like Bama going out to Cali and grabbing guys like Bryce Young.
Bryce
Ohio State going out there, grabbing guys like CJ Stroud. So
California guys.
Yeah, all California guys. And what's his name? Is DJ Uyunglele? Isn't he from Cali too?
He might be from Cali.
I think he's from Cali. So and in that class, those were like the top 3 quarterbacks.
Exactly. No one is interested in USC like it was back then, but they're getting their recruits.
Yeah, they are. Hey, now the NIL is there. That money is there. You know,
California has the money. We saw Lincoln Riley. What did he get? A private jet, a personal private jet. He got a huge contract. He's upgraded his lifestyle tremendously to go out there. Oh, and after leaving the Oklahoma program, that was well on their way to great things.
That's a blue blood program too, yeah.
Right. So I'm interested to see what he does. I hope to not see USC be kind of like a cursed team, because I know it feels like to be cursed. But I want to see if Lincoln Riley can do it. A lot of coaches went there that just could not get it done.
Honestly, I want to see teams like USC get back to what they're supposed to be. I want to see teams like Texas get back to what they're used to be. And I want to see teams like the U get back to where they're supposed to be. Because honestly, if those teams get back to what they used to be, and also on top of NIL, I think that we can start making an even playing field, especially when you talk about calling for the college football playoffs. You know, some fans are tired of seeing the same couple of teams,
right?
You know, the same 3 or 4 teams in the playoffs every year, you know? But since we're talking about the playoffs, you know, they let the bowl season schedule is out. It has came out. The national championship is in Los Angeles, everybody. And then you got the semifinals, the Chick-fil-A Bowl, as always, in Atlanta, and the Fiesta Bowl in Glendale, Arizona, man. The semifinals are still on New Year's Eve. Talk to me about this, because I hate that they're on New Year's Eve, and because it's not a good time for everybody, because everybody got their New Year's plans, what they're doing and going out and stuff. Talk to me.
Why? So when I look at a team that's playing on New Year's Eve, I look at one of those one-loss teams getting one more opportunity to make their way into the championship game, to make their way up those charts. And also, I just want to see, me personally, I want to see a new team make it. I remember a past few years ago, Washington was in the rotation, and another team was it was Clemson, Ohio State, the normal teams.
Michigan State made it.
Right. Penn State. I'm interested to see a new team make their way into that top 4, because it's wide open. Of course, we know the top 3 schools are Bama, Ohio State. Maybe, someone is going to rotate in. Maybe a Michigan might slide in. Maybe that one-loss team might slide in. Yeah. But I'm interested to see a new team make that jump. Could it be a team from the ACC? Could it be a team from the Pac-12? Could it be another Big Ten school, which we know that conference is coming like no other conference right now? I'm interested to see a new team show their face this season. What team could it be?
Well, EG, this is our way too early college football playoff predictions, my man.
Right.
So go ahead and give me the 4 teams you think are going to be in the college football playoffs.
Well, of course, just by strength of schedule. Well, first of all, let me say Alabama, Ohio State, 1 and 2. But strength of schedule wise, I'm going to say Georgia can make it as the number 4 seed. But that number 3 team is wide open. Maybe an ACC school can make it. Maybe a Clemson can slide in there with their quarterback being a veteran now. He struggled his first year, and he hasn't looked like he's developed a lot, but maybe this year he put it together. Maybe another team from the ACC. Maybe Notre Dame finally gets it together this year and hold that ranking, because as we know, all year long, Notre Dame is top 5, top 10 team every single year.
Yeah.
Maybe this be the year Notre Dame can hold on to that ranking and be that number 3rd or that number 4th team, you know? So it's between those type of teams. I got Clemson, I got Notre Dame. Those are my 2 teams that I feel like can ease up into one of those 4 spots, and maybe even a Miami because of where the ACC is right now. But I'll let you have your spiel because I know you feel good about Miami right now. So I want you to explain your top 4 and why.
Yeah, so this was something that we did with Grant Long actually asked us when we had him on NMD Sports on talking about Miami. And if you haven't gone and checked that video out, you definitely should go check that video out. It's on our YouTube. Click the link and it's there. But my teams are Bama at 1. They're going to give Bama the number 1 spot because, strength of schedule. They're going to, and all of that crap, political stuff. Ohio State, I got at number 2. And then this is those new teams that you're talking about. I'm going to put Utah at 3. And a lot of people are saying, why Utah? I feel like Utah would have made the playoffs last year if they had went with the quarterback that they finished the season with, that they wouldn't have lost the games that they did in the beginning of the season. They would have been in the playoff. They returned a lot of production. And you got guys like that. A lot of people want to talk about their secondary in the Rose Bowl. It will get better. And you got guys like Clark Phillips, who in that Rose Bowl was making players. You're talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba might be the number 1 receiver in this upcoming draft. And he made Jackson Smith and Jigba fumble, So, I mean, I love Utah's defense. And I think that they're going to smack Lincoln Riley in the mouth. Lincoln Riley, they might be able to beat up on some teams who don't got a defense. But there's going to be teams like that they're going to face like Washington, who's always known to have a defense. They're going to face some teams like Utah, who's known to have some defense and will also keep the ball. And I don't have that much faith in Caleb Williams. So,
Okay.
and then at my number 14, I got Miami sneaking in. And the reason being is I don't have faith in Clemson. Clemson lost a whole lot on their defensive side. You lose your defensive coach. You lose basically everything. Your quarterback development is getting so bad. You got your starting quarterback's dad out here speaking out publicly about how bad it was. So I got Miami, man.
I like the Miami choice. I also like the Utah choice because what was Utah record last year, if I'm not mistaken? They lost 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
And that's a team that's upcoming. And to hear you say, they haven't lost a lot of guys, I like that team because that team doesn't play a super hard schedule, but a team like USC isn't ready yet. They will not be ready this year. We know Lincoln Riley can do magic. He can work magic. He can bring that offense from sugar to shine or whatever you want to call it. He can do that. But USC as a program, as a complete team, I don't know if they take that step next year. I'm not going to be high on USC for this first year or even the second year, if you ask me.
Yeah, Utah last year, they lost 3 games.
3 games.
Well, 4 including the
bowl game.
The bowl game.
They lost the bowl game, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, this is a 3-loss team during the season. And that's a great team, another team that can sneak into that top 4, that top 5. And we like to see the new teams. We like to see a team who's not scared of the Bamas, who's not scared of the Ohio State. When Washington came in there and they made their move in the playoffs, I felt as Washington, they wasn't scared of anyone. They had a bunch of pros on both sides of that ball. Shout out to Derek Davis. Caleb Williams is that guy.
He got to show me, man. He got to show me, Derek. He got to show me.
I see you be smooth.
Because smooth, man. The one thing about Caleb Williams at Oklahoma, he was making plays with his legs. We wasn't really talking about what he was doing with his arm, man. And honestly, he was pretty turnover prone. Not just Spencer Rattler, but him. You got the coach who's like, I don't know who's the guy. Let me bench Caleb. Let me bench Spencer. Ain't nothing working.
And I feel like benching guys like that is never the solution. You let guys work it out. You let guys make those mistakes. Let guys learn from those mistakes. I was high on Caleb Williams at first, and then I saw him crash down. As we saw him and Spencer Rattler crash down.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey guys,
for the teams. That's why he stood out.
Hey, if you want, click the link in the comments. Click the link, and y'all can come on live, man. We about to start the TFE fan corner soon. Go ahead,
yeah.
My bad, EG.
And like my guy, Caleb Williams, like I want to have high hopes for him. He has everything you're looking for in the quarterback position. But would USC be ready the first year? Yeah, he has a Biletnikoff winner at wide receiver. That's a blessing to have. Like his first year going in there, what more can you ask for out of a quarterback? But this is also a receiver who is not that big, who's not that fast. He's just a great receiver. Will he be the same receiver next year? I don't know if there's many guys like Crabtree who could come and be in the running for that award 2 years straight, who can dominate 2 years straight. So I'm interested to see, is he going to be the same? Is he going to be that same type of guy, or did he benefit from being at Pitt? Who knows?
Yeah, they still keeping it going. Caleb will do better at USC than Spencer at South Carolina. And I mean, I agree with that. South Carolina is in the SEC. Their schedule is going to be tougher. And then you got in the Pac-12, man, like I said, there's a couple teams that play defense, but there's a lot of teams that USC will be able to beat up on. So I don't think that that's a good indication on which quarterback will be better. Also, the talent pool at USC is definitely way better than South Carolina.
Also, let me say this. South Carolina benefits from playing more teams from the SEC East. That's an easier schedule than the SEC West. Maybe they don't have Bama. Maybe they do. I haven't checked South Carolina's complete
I'll
schedule.
check it out right now. Go ahead.
So bring up Alabama's complete schedule or South Carolina. But they benefit from playing those SEC East school. And if you ask me, Kentucky defense won't be as tough. They have a nice quarterback, Levi. He's a decent quarterback, but I don't think that defense is going to stop Spencer Rattler. And Spencer Rattler made a comment that, hey, the South Carolina practices feel a lot easier than Oklahoma. He said that South Carolina, it feels easy in the SEC. I think he'll regret those words. I think he'll eat those words when he play a Tennessee, when he play a Georgia. But other than Tennessee and Georgia and maybe Florida, he's coasting on the SEC East. He's coasting. He has a smooth schedule. You play the Vanderbilts. You play the Kentuckys. Those guys are teams that they don't have an overpowering defense. A guy like Spencer Rattler could come in and throw for 300-400 yards in those games.
I mean, it might be easier in the SEC because I've seen guys come from other conferences, right, and dominate the SEC. J-Mo, Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? And then let's talk about this. Missouri. Missouri came from the Big 12, came right in the SEC West, and back-to-back SEC East champions.
But man. Missouri benefited from the time where guys, I think it was great timing for Missouri. No one ever felt like Missouri could win anything. No one ever felt that way. As a true SEC fan, no one ever felt like, hey, these guys could do something. They were all right when they had Drew Lock as the quarterback. I will admit.
Dan Mullen at Florida. You had what's his name? What was the other coach? Rich at Georgia.
I still don't feel like Missouri had no chance of winning anything. They benefited from Tennessee having tougher opponents late. They got into the SEC championship game. Teams having tougher opponents late, and Arkansas being down, Ole Miss having a new coaching change. They benefited from those things, but Missouri was never a threat to win anything. Let's be honest.
But the teams that you just named are in the SEC West, Missouri in the SEC East.
Yeah, and Missouri benefited from beating those teams late in the season. For beating a team in week 11, week 10, when a team is already in that mental mind state of, okay, we're not as good this year. We're terrible.
No.
They benefited from beating teams like that. They beat Arkansas Razorbacks. The last time they beat us, it was because we had the new coaching hire. We had
everybody was beating y'all, man. Y'all had FCS schools beating y'all. Come on, man.
Hey, man, we're not bringing up the past. We are not bringing up the past. We had Chad Morris, which was the worst hire in the history of Arkansas. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Utah, Michigan will be in the top 5 for most of the season. I know I'm biased, but Arkansas is Alabama and Texas A&M upset alert games this year.
Oh, them some lofty. Hey, I like it. I like it.
Hey, if I had to be truthful, Quentin, I think that was his name. Yeah, if I had to be truthful, this is the year we can get Alabama. This is the year Arkansas can come in there and steal something. We got a veteran quarterback. Alabama, of course, they have the defensive captain, the offensive captain returning, but we're that team, we're going to run it down your throat this year. We have a running quarterback. We have 3 guys in the backfield that can tote the ball this year. Alabama, is their defense ready to be top-notch again? I haven't saw a top-notch Alabama defense since it's been a while. So this is the year, and Alabama will struggle on offense. They will struggle at the wide receiver position. This is the year. It could be an upset. Texas A&M did it last year. Yeah. Texas A&M did it last year. Arkansas beat Texas A&M. Why not us this year for the upset against Bama?
I remember what was that, the 14-13 game? If Arkansas could have just kicked
2-point conversion,
their field goals.
It was that 2-point conversion that hurt us.
It was the missed field goals.
Yeah, we missed the field goal, and then we tried to run the ball in the next time we scored. We tried to run it in. The guy fumbled at the goal line. Yeah. I can still remember.
Yeah.
And we had them pretty much beat. We were in Fayetteville. We go back to Fayetteville this year. Bring it on, Alabama. I'm not scared of Alabama. I'm not. As a Razorback fan, I'm not to be biased. I'm not scared of these guys. We got KJ Jefferson leading us, baby. Let's do this. We got the guy Drew Sanders, who transferred, who was a starter for Alabama. He's gonna make serious noise on the Arkansas defense this year. Remember the name Drew Sanders. That boy is a ball hawk at the linebacker position.
So Q says our offense will crazy good this year with all transfers and big linemen. Also will have a strong secondary.
Our secondary will be very strong.
Arkansas, like, this is the thing. I have Arkansas picked over Texas A&M because I trust Arkansas's quarterback more than I trust Texas A&M's quarterback. So
also,
but I do think that y'all will lose to Bama because it's at Bama.
No, we're going to Fayetteville this year.
No, bro, I'm telling you, I think it's at Bama.
I think we played Bama last year in Alabama. I think we're in Fayetteville season.
If y'all in Fayetteville, then it's lit.
It's
y'all
lit.
are in Fayetteville. It's lit.
Let's go. I'm happy to make you happy.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why y'all lose.
Why?
It's right after the Texas A&M game.
But of course,
that sucks.
The brutal fight during the SEC, it gets tough. Every week we got to go Ole Miss, A&M, Bama. It's a tough ride. But
they space it out for y'all.
But I feel like this is the year.
The SEC is smart with scheduling. I'm gonna tell you this, bro, because the SEC knew y'all was a threat.
They knew
to keep Bama on top. You're gonna schedule Arkansas right after Texas A&M. Because check this out. Y'all got, after that, then y'all will have Mississippi State, BYU. With BYU will be a cupcake, and then Auburn, right? So it's like they know. I gotta check Bama's schedule because Bama doesn't have no games that's back to back like that.
But that's the brutal part about the SEC. Every year, the SEC got to take that beating. Like I said, my guy mentioned it. We have grown men on the offensive line. Sam Pittman is finally getting his guys in the door that he likes to be on the offensive line. He's even got freshman guys that are rotating in the ones and the twos, and he's finally getting his guys in there where he can feel good. Let's not forget that offensive line that he built at Georgia. It's time to build that here. Also, that running back at running back, we got 3 strong running backs. We got Dominic Johnson, we got Rocket Sanders, and we also have a transfer guy who's been talking about. I have to look up his name. He's a transfer guy. I hear he's in at 3rd string, but we're gonna play 2 running backs for the most part anyway. And like you said, Cincinnati first game, Quentin. It's gonna be a challenge, but Cincinnati lost all their guys to the NFL.
Yeah, I don't.
They lost all of their guys to the NFL. We're not worried, but we also have to do work because last year when we played, who was that team we played? Don't give me it'll come to my memory. We played it wasn't a tough team, but we struggled.
You're talking about
Rice. We struggled at the gate
of the season,
Yeah, we struggled at the gate, but that's just because it's early in the season, so we can't look over anybody.
But that was new coaching staff,
new coaching, new players,
and right after COVID. So
right.
Yeah, I don't think Cincinnati lost their top quarterback. They lost two NFL DBs. You know what I'm saying? The Jim Thorpe Award winner. So
right.
And then we also saw, when they went up against Bama, and one
it's
thing
just a different level.
The biggest thing that I watched in that game was in the trenches, because that's to me where the games are won.
Right.
And it was completely unfair it was completely unfair on both sides of the ball for Cincinnati. Yeah.
We knew what was going to happen in that game. I'm not going to say, my guy said this is going to be the best receivers since Joe Adams and Jarius Wright.
Which Ohio State QB recruit is he talking about?
Not going to lie, that Ohio State QB recruit coming in is a monster. He must be talking about Ohio State, but anyway.
Is he talking about Dylan? Q, are you talking about Dylan Raiola, or are you talking about Devin Brown that's already on the roster?
But listen, though, as a group, our wide receivers will be 10 times better than they were last year, but we don't have that guy like Treylon. Click that link. We don't have that guy like Treylon Burks. Of course, we don't have that NFL wide receiver, but as a group, they will be better. We will take steps next year. KJ Jefferson, our quarterback, will actually have to read defenses. He will actually have to scan the field and see who's open instead of having a guy like, hey, there's Treylon Burks. I'm just going to throw it up to that guy because he's that talented. This year, he will actually have to sit back there and see who's open, see who's making plays. And I think that's going to be an important year for him as a quarterback and also our receivers. He'll be able to take that step forward to let us know if he's ready to be a professional quarterback.
Yep, I agree, man. You got anything else for the people, EG?
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited about the upcoming season. Tell me you guys, sleeper teams. Make sure you guys are tagging the Fans Edge in your messages on Twitter, on Facebook, whatever. Let me know what teams you feel like we're sleeping on, what teams you feel like are going to come up. Let me know. Inform me, because I can only catch up with so many spring practices. I can only look at so many rosters. I can only look at so many recruiting classes. So let me know what you guys feel and who you guys feel like is coming up, who's a sleeper player, who's an impact player for next year, all those type of things. Make sure you guys let me know. Tag the Fans Edge on Twitter. Specifically tag those guys. Let us know who we're sleeping on. Let us know so we can talk about it on the show next season or next week.
Yes, sir. And make sure that you're following us on all of our social media platforms. If you haven't already, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We'll be coming at you with them quick live videos on TikTok for sure. And if you're not able to catch the show or you're not able to watch it on YouTube all the time, we are available on all of your podcast platforms at the Fans Edge. Check us out, man. We definitely enjoy the talking to you all. We appreciate all of the comments that have came in. And in the future, click this link right here. We will bring you on the show visual. Just like we on here live, we want you to come on here live and join us, y'all. Man, that's all we got for you all. And make sure y'all come check us out next week, 6 o'clock. Don't be late.
Before we go, shout out to Justin Crandell. Shout out to Quentin Brewer. Shout out to Derek Davis. all you guys for coming through, dropping comments. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Corey Hayes. Shout out to all you guys. And also shout out to our super producer, Disney, who wasn't able to make the show. Thank y'all, man. Y'all make the show. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for dropping comments. It's always appreciated. On the Fans Edge. Let's get it.